Today's topic is plasma membrane. So this is the animal cell which you can see in the diagram, wherein it shows the all the organelles, cell organelles, which is covered by a membrane called as plasma membrane, or the cell membrane we call it as simply. Okay, so cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane, or the biological membrane that we would say. Okay, so this is what we call it as a cell membrane. Okay, which is surrounding the cell. The cell membrane or the biological membrane, it is going to separate the interior and the exterior environment of the cells, and which protects the cell from its environment, consisting of the lipid bilayer with the embedded proteins. So many functions are there of this particular cell membrane. First of all, we will study the functions, because the reason behind studying the functions is we'll have to know why are we studying this particular structure, isn't it? So once we know the functions of it, we would really feel happy to learn about what is that, isn't it? So first I'm going with the functions of the plasma membrane. They are the borders. What do you mean by that they are the borders? They are, first of all, as I told you beforehand itself, that they are going to help us in the in the interaction with the other environment, or the outside the cell, and they are the borders which are going to help us to protect the cell from the many other foreign substances, or it can avoid certain substances which is just entering into the cell without any necessary function. So which is necessary and which is specific to the particular cell, then only that is going to be allowed to that particular cell. This is what is the security guard for a cell, which is going to selectively allow certain molecules into it or outside that. Clear? So the second point here which we are talking about is excretory. Excretes various substances in the specific amounts. That's what I was discussing about. So they are going to have a certain specificity in them. Just like that, they are not going to allow any other substances into them. Okay, involves active transport. Before that, this is what is the that is the function of the borders that I was speaking about. See, the specific lipid soluble substances or the molecules are allowed, or the ions, in the form of ions it has been allowed. Membrane channels are there, which is going to help them to know which kind of proteins is allowing inside, or which proteins is coming inside. Only the specific proteins is allowed inside. This is outside environment of the cell, and this is the inside environment of the cell. So the cell is going to have a cell membrane which is going to allow it or not. See, the specific lipid soluble molecules are allowed inside, but this is the non-lipid soluble molecule which is not allowed inside, which is just repelling out. Okay, so this is the facilitation done by the plasma membrane. See, the simple diffusion which is happening, which is just the lipid soluble substances which are just inside from outside the cell, they are moving inside the cell. This is outside, inside, and this is the plasma membrane. Okay, so bits and pieces I have shown for the different functions. So here you have a non-specific transporter which is going to have a specificity. One specific proteins only is being allowed inside, and the non-specific transporter through which it can allow the substances inside. So here is the transport membrane, transported substances which is allowed, which is with a specific transporter. This is non-specific, just like that it is just allowed. Okay, but here it's a specific. To that it will get attached, and then it will open inside the cell. Okay, that's how it is going to function. This is the facilitated diffusion through a specific transporter. This is non-specific transporter. Okay, anything. See, if a specificity is there, then it's actually good, but sometimes you would require certain kind of a molecule which is actually needed inside, but still they are not specific. correct. So in that cases and all, this is like special pass which is entry that is given for some students or some people who are entering the any place, isn't it? So we give certain pass, or somebody is going to go and tell them, no, no, we know that even though identity card is not there, now they, if we identify that you are our student, our college student, sometimes we allow for the exams, isn't it? Like that, it's a non-specific transporter, but still we are allowing them. Okay, that's how it is, it's going to work, even though it is important, but still it doesn't have any proper specific transporter. Clear? So if specific transporter is there, then it is also allowed very easily. So this is another picture for which which you can actually see how the transport happens. See, electrochemical gradient that which is being shown here. So depending on the concentration, electrochemical gradient also it's going to work. So lots of positive ions it's not going to allow, or lots of negative ions it's not going to allow. It has to balance the concentration. So henceforth it has the ATP dependent pump here, one which is there, the calcium ions are there, which is letting it inside. Once the calcium ions are coming inside, then the ionic potential is going to increase, isn't it? So this is how the another light driven pump through which the substances, the hydrogen molecules are entering inside. So here is the symporter and antiporter which we will be discussing about. So what is this actually is, this is actually the same specific transporter or the non-specific transporters which we are discussing. They are going to allow two types of molecules in the same port. Okay, so this is what is a sym port. Two kinds of different kinds of molecules are entering at simultaneously, but here the exiting cannot happen, correct? So the molecules from inside cannot go outside, this is only inlet. Here this is the antiport, wherein the molecules can enter inside, the molecules can let out also. So different channels are there in the plasma membrane, which is going to facilitate in lots and lots of molecules variations, which has a very vast kind of significance. Henceforth it is very important to study for us how the plasma membrane actually look like, and what is its actual model of it. Okay, so this is how it is going to facilitate, and here we have seen that the two different molecules are entering into one channel. So all these things are really wonderful to study. You would really feel happy when you start studying certain things. Okay, so here is another some more functions of the plasma membrane. This is endocytosis. It is, what is it endocytosis meaning? Endocytosis means, see, if you can see this diagram, the molecules which are there outside are taken up in the form of a vesicle, that the plasma membrane itself is going to create a vesicle, that is invagination is going to take place, and all the molecules are let inside, covers it up, and then it is going to, this is a vesicle which is going to form, and then it is going to digest it off. Okay, so foreign substances, anything that is there, that is going to be digested off, or no, if at all it is required, we also call it as the cell takes in the materials. So the cells which are there outside, whatever the membranes are there, whatever the materials are there, it is just going to take it out, take it in, and then it is going to digest it. If it is required to the cell, it will keep it inside, otherwise it is going to let it out. So let it out, we call it as the exocytosis. What do you mean by exocytosis? Now, exocytosis meaning, see, the cell which has the components inside, which is maybe after the cell cell functioning, or cell has undergone some of the biological activities which has happened inside the cell, and it has to let out some of the substances out in a bulk, or it can be molecules has to be let out. That's what is the idea. So then again it will come near the cell membrane. These vesicles are the materials of the again cell membrane only. So again they are going to fuse with the cell membrane and then let out the proteins out. Okay, this is how the exocytosis is going to happen, excreting out the substances from the cell. Next we are going to study what is the pinocytosis. What do you pinocytosis meaning? Pinocytosis meaning the cell is taking in the liquid droplets, or we also call it as cell drinking. So what is actually happening here? See, the cell is taking in the liquid and the solute molecules inside the vesicles of the plasma membrane, which is letting it inside. no, if it is usable, then it will be definitely used to the cell. This is the phagocytosis, which in the takes in the larger substances and the bacteria. See, the bacteria are taken inside the larger substances, and then it is going to be digested and it is disintegrated. This is called as phagocytosis, which is also going to help us in the defense system. So here is they function as the enzymes also. How are they going to function as the enzymes? They are going to help us in the for example, it's like a microvilli on the epithelial cells lining the digestive tract. So these epithelial cells of the digestive tract are going to help us as enzymes, because they are going to provide the surface area for the digestion. Correct. What are the functions of the enzymes? Enzymes is not going to involve in the any of the reactions, but they are going to provide the surface area for the reactions to happen. So here is the cell membrane that what we have as a microvilli, in the form of a microvilli, are going to act as an enzymes, because they are going to provide the larger surface area for the digestion. Because of the microvilli, we have a larger surface area for the digestion, isn't it? Have you seen that intestinal foldings, isn't it? So microvilli foldings which is happening there inside. So that's how it's going to help us as an enzymes. Plasma membrane has a proteins receptors. They are also going to act as a, for example, hormones in the blood bind only to a specific cells, the target cells. So here they are going to act, these proteins are there which is going to help us for the receptors. The hormones which are there for a particular cell, if the hormone has to get attached, it has to have certain receptors, isn't it? So the receptors are on the plasma membrane in the form of proteins. So that's how it's going to help us. And you have the next we'll move on to a model how exactly the plasma membrane look, and how are the proteins being present as a receptors also. So here is a very well accepted model, that model we call it as a fluid mosaic model, which is proposed by a Singer and Nicholson in the year 1931 by and the term plasma membrane was proposed by the J.K. Paul in 1931. Okay, so the fluidity is due to the lipid bilayer. Why is that fluid mosaic model that we call is because the fluidity is because of the plasma by the lipids bilayer, which is in the form of a phospholipids. So that is in a form of a liquid. Okay, you have a mosaic nature. If you have seen any granites which has that mosaic nature, that is what is a mosaic. It's a semi-liquidy form kind of a membrane which is there. Okay, which has three different types of proteins in it. So the phospholipids are is being formed in the bilayer, which is going to form a bilayer. Okay, so the three types of proteins are the transmembrane proteins, integral proteins, peripheral proteins. So what are these? So here is a picture of the plasma membrane in a section, which wherein you can see these are the protein molecules which are there. Okay, on the plasma membrane. See, this is the cell, this is the membrane, and this is what is the enlarged portion of the cell membrane. So if you see this, there are the proteins here. This is the polar end, and this is also a polar end. Heads are the polar end, tails will be the non-polar end. Okay, so the inside part which you can see here is a non-polar end, and this is the polar end. I'll be telling you in detail what is the heads and tails about that I'm talking about. So this is the glycoprotein. We have external membrane surface, phospholipid bilayer. This is the phospholipid bilayer. You can see their internal membrane surface and the proteins. Here is the different kinds of proteins that you could differentiate them depending on the place where they are situated. This is the transmembrane glycoprotein, which is completely embedded inside the plasma membrane. This is the glycoprotein which is there on the top, which is made up of the glucose. This is the peripheral protein which is completely got embedded inside, which is not seen outside the cell. That kind of a protein we call it as a peripheral protein, because it is only in a peripheral region. transmembrane protein, they are throughout. Okay, that's what we have seen here also, no? So this is completely in and outside. We could see then the transmembrane protein helps in the transportation. So here are the carbohydrates which have got attached to a transmembrane proteins, and here is a protein channel which you can see, a pore, facilitator, maybe it can be a specific transport transmembrane protein, or non-specific, anything that is, but this is how it looks like. Okay, this is the cytoplasm and this is the extracellular fluid layer. Here is the transportation of how it is going to take place, that we've already discussed. But as you see in a diagram, once you see the plasma membrane, you would really feel happy to see this, because you know now what it is, how it is going to look, the plasma membrane, and this is how the transport proteins are going to come inside. See, this is the receptor protein, and this is the protein which you can see here, recognition protein, which is recognizing certain substances on the receptors as an hormones which have intact to it. So these are the receptor or the recognition proteins, and here you have the activation proteins or activin proteins, addition proteins which are there. These have attached to a adhesive to the tips of the plasma membrane. This is the addition proteins, and this is the phospholipid bilayer. Okay, so this is how it is going to facilitate in the transportation. So here is the phospholipid molecule, heads and tails, which we were discussing about the polar and the non-polar end. See, this is the head and this is the tail. Head is nothing but a hydrophilic in nature, which is going to help in the it's a water loving substances which will allow the water, or which is very much eager to like or interact with the water. That is the polar end. But whereas the tail is the hydrophobic end, non-polar end, which is very much fear of the water molecules. So here hence we call them as a amphipathic or amphiphilic, meaning it is polar also, non-polar also, isn't it? So that's how the amphi nature is seen. So as we have seen, the water hating tails are on the interior of the membrane, and whereas the water loving heads points outside towards either the cytoplasm or the fluid that surrounds the cell. Okay, so also they are going to help in the transportation, or that maintaining the fluidity nature. Next moves on to the main components, includes the proteins, which we are talking about from many a times. So proteins are there, and lipid layers. We have different types of proteins, as I've already discussed, that is the transmembrane proteins, integral proteins. So proteins are the second major components of the plasma membrane. They have the two main categories of the membrane proteins, that is integral proteins and the peripheral proteins that we have discussed, and also the transmembrane proteins. So as the name suggests, what does integral protein mean? Integral protein meaning that there are they have a least on hydrophobic region that anchors them to the hydrophobic core of the phospholipid bilayer. So it's going to just an anchoring to the plasma membrane, nothing but they stuck only part away into the membrane, while others stretch from one side to the membrane of the other side, and they are exposed on the either side. So they are that we have also called them as a transmembrane proteins, the proteins that extend from all the way across the complete membrane, that we call it as a transmembrane proteins. So what is integral proteins? Integral proteins are the protein substances which are inside the plasma membrane of the hydrophobic region, while those that are exposed to the cytoplasm inside, that I have shown you inside, are the exterior. Here you can see extracellular fluid tend to be hydrophobic in nature, and some integral membrane proteins from a channel that allows ions and the other small molecules to pass inside them. Like this, they can help them to pass inside through them. And the peripheral proteins are also found on the found attached inside, as well as found attached outside also. Okay, so on the surface of the membrane attaches either to the integral protein or to the lipid bilayer. So that's what. So unlike the integral membrane proteins, peripheral proteins do not stick into the hydrophobic core of the membrane, and they found that they are to be more loosely attached than that of the other proteins. They have found that they are loosely attached to a membrane. Okay, so this is how the protein is all about. And you have a lipid layers that we have already seen in the diagrams, with a cholesterol and cholesterol, and you can see that carbohydrates being attached here. So carbohydrates in the form of oligosaccharides, they are present, and phospholipids and the cholesterol, which is being attached to form a complete plasma membrane. So this is how the phospholipid bilayer looks actually in detail. This is the heads of the lipids, and these are the tails of the lipids, which are hydrophobic in nature and which are the hydrophilic in nature. Now this is the only one head that I'm taking. Okay, one structure of that. If you take and enlarge it, you could see that how it is actually arranged. Choline is a substance which is going to make up the head, and the neck-like region, which is going to be in a form of a phosphate, and glycerol is present here to attach the tail and the head. So these are the fatty acids which are there as a tail. So fatty acids are nothing but the hydrophobic in nature, which do not allow any water molecules to get attached or interact with it. They are the water hating substances or water fear of substances. So tail is uncharged non-molecular hydrophobic in nature. Head is negatively charged polar, and they are hydrophilic in nature. These are the phospholipid molecules which are there inside them. This is how the ultrastructure of the lipid layer look like. Okay, so this ends up the topic of the plasma membrane and its functions, how it's going to be actually seen, how are the integral proteins being there, and all the things. So if you see again once more, just a brief introduction, briefing about it. Plasma membrane has a polar end and a non-polar end. Of the non-polar end, which is there inside in the form of a tail, which is embedded with the different kinds of proteins, transmembrane proteins, integral proteins, and the peripheral proteins, which are going to help them or facilitate in the diffusion of simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, or the the specific transmembrane proteins are present, which are going to be in a very much specific in transporting the protein molecules. They also act as the enzymes, they also act as the receptors, which is going to identify, and they also help in the communicating with the other cell, neighboring cell recognition is also also is happening due to the presence of the plasma membrane, and also communicates with the other neighboring cells by the plasma membrane. So this is how it actually looks, and since it's a bilayer, and which is a semi liquidy form in the form of a lipid, henceforth it's called as a fluid mosaic model. Okay, so here ends up the topic of the plasma membrane. Any doubts, anything, you can have it in a comment section. If you have liked the video, please like the video and comment for subscribe for it. Okay, thank you.